Wow. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at V8 contemporary art. It is entitled Falling Down, so I'm excited about this. I had some people recommend this one to me, even though I didn't have a dance practice. It's still, I would assume, very conceptual, and contemporary art, I would assume, is contemporary, the form of dance, possibly. So I'm very excited about this. I do kind of understand a little bit of background of V8 with the type of dance background he had, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, that was stable. That was stable. Yes, with the Valdez. I love this color grade so much. Wow. I loved that arrangement with the lighting, specifically. Who was our lighting designer? Juan Jason. Salute to you. I think that was beautiful. Beautiful. I'm trying to look through. That was gorgeous, guys. I'm very thankful that I got to take a look at that. It was gorgeous. So from the top, I really didn't feel like 3.5 minutes. Okay, from the top, I don't get to talk, I don't get to give analysis on contemporary as often as I do street style, so this is really fun because I get to kind of unpack a different type of vocabulary here. So from the top, I love that we're coming from a light and projecting forward with a silhouette, and it's like he hit a wall and he caused it from his core or from his chest to really create that suspension or that hold, running down, running out. Really nice usage of the lifting of the chest, and allongé is going to be that type of technique we see often, and is adding breath into your movement. And so as he comes up, it is really nice how he kind of just melts through it to run around. Not quite, I mean, we're not really seeing a ton of pointed feet in this, so we're not looking for a very specific line, and I think that's okay. And the beauty of contemporary, it is the mix of modern and ballet with more of the artistic freedom of textures and dynamics that a lot of those two may feel somewhat constricted by, but I love this. Notice how they don't match exactly, and I freaking love it, because notice they're both crawling down, wave up, through, down, crawling through, building up again, but he's choosing a different approach to frame towards the outside while he's framing up. And this is a gorgeous duet between them, going down. Theate chooses to go up and down. The my feature, he chooses to go in opposition. They come up, and you can tell whenever they're doing the same thing in unison, and then having a little bit, they're both expressing themselves as individuals, and I absolutely love it. I would say my dancer with him is having a more stoic approach. He's more of that weightiness, and you would have more of this legato and what is it? Words, more sporadic energy or more unrefined energy from Theate. And it's really cool to see the differences of how they're doing the same choreography, but it's slightly different. This is when I think it's completely appropriate for them to dive into two different interpretations because of a concept like this. Now, if it was like 15 people trying to do the same thing, then I would kind of be more, it just depends on context, honestly. So how they bring it out, bring it up, bring it down, frame it up towards the face. Notice my dancer takes a more stoic, more presenting out with the chest, but then Theate takes a more pedestrian approach with his elbow more lengthened forward, melting down. I love that wave out, causing his feature to go out to the side. Ding. Da 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 with the bounce. I love that incorporation. Yeah, da 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 da. I love that. Through the head, again, looking, head melting through. Same thing, he's taking a very stoic, artistic act. Like they're just approaching it completely different, but it's very cohesive. And I'm very much a fan having this color change was so gorgeous. Oof. And I love that. And they did a little speed change here, if you notice. Yeah, so having that, I love that so much. He comes up, grabs him, melts him down, and just him turning into a rag doll. He does a fabulous job of transitioning between his postures, Theate, and it's very impressive. I love that they're doing the same way, and then they go a little bit different, and then they switch, and it's just turning more and more sporadic, supposed to be together, and then it becomes just more and more outside of control. And I absolutely love that. And then you have them go in, and then my dancer joins, and then they come in. Regardless if they were on the same timing or not, that was really, really cool. And he drops down. Now that one had a little bit more control than being controlled. You know, I felt like Theate had more control into this, but he still has a very limp perspective on this. And it gets reset. I love that cut to here. And he looks around. This right here. Oh, how his vibrato matches this movement. And I love that choice so much. And I love how from here it branches away. Do you see the articulation of the fingers as he drops them? And then he creates this bigger, louder posture in order for the hands to be able to move freely where they need to go. Traveling down the body, he goes in and then wraps around his waist to push him forward. He's trying to escape of some kind. I love the lighting on this. The lighting is so freaking cool. I absolutely love it. And you see the usage of the fog here, and then you just see just that ending fog was so beautiful. And I'll talk about it when we get there, but I love having the fogginess already here. I love this. He had a little bit of a vibration into that technique he just did. Folding out, branching out, looking up, melding through. Just like how it builds. He's building it with his hands. I love it. The turn was so nice. He turns, he goes, he runs. This is a great outfit on him. That was a really nice chasse that he did with his pointed feet. Very nice with the usage of his arms to create an allongé. Majestic posture. His turn, nice little rond de jambe around. That right there was super nice. An inside turn foot. I don't believe it was a coupe or anything like that, but he goes around, chasse, rond de jambe, into, he goes and he turns it. And now, is this technically correct? No, doesn't matter. No, because it's contemporary. And when you think about it's art, so it's the understanding we should have the assumption that he understands how to do it correctly so he can branch out and create a more artistic expression based off of it. So the proper technique of how to do that would be to bring it up into a passe of some kind with pointed foot into the knee, or a coupe position wrapping of the foot onto the ankle. Now, seeing this, he did more, he didn't really quite point his foot, but he was intentional with where he placed it. So I appreciate that. I love that boom when he looks as he does his more of a pas de bourrée variation. I love that right there. And I love that it cuts back down into the, back into the verse somber-esque timbre that they have. It just feels so nice, and loving with the lighting and still having the fog, but the fog feels different. It feels icier because it's a cooler tone lighting being used versus the warmness of the course. And that's why, honestly, I think this is probably my favorite lighting I've seen in most of the videos. Of course, most of the videos I've seen from 17 have been dance practices, so of course your lighting is kind of factored into that. But here, when it comes to the actual concepts, I love this a lot. Seeing him come out, that turn right there was so stable, and he's kept that position of the turn really properly placed. And I love you notice his partner is very, very properly stoic in the posture, and he doesn't change that, and it allows us to see Thea's drastic shifts in his posture because his partner stays consistent, and I love that. The grab, I love that boom. He had a light little reverb there. That lift is nice. So notice that the position of the weight, he's putting his weight as an anchor point on his shoulder, his waist, or his hips, or what is on the shoulder, so he's allowed to kick freely as well as move his upper body freely, but he still has to have controlled usage of the core, so he has to stay upright. It's more reliant upon Thea to do it. Drops down, really great place to place his hips, to place him down, really great. Try to push, and notice once again, partner is very, very strong. He doesn't become unstable. Does that make sense? Like, he's very, what's the word? I feel stable, stoic, I can't think of the word. Hopefully it'll come to me eventually, but it's unwavering. There it is, an unwavering posture. And I love that. That really helps. I love how he grabs, very intentional where the partner is grabbing, how he's also complementing some of the grabs and allowing his head to be moved. So it's a push and pull effect. With partner work, you have to be mindful of sometimes you have to resist resisting. Because sometimes when somebody wants to move you, you want to resist it because you want to be in control. But sometimes it's trusting where you want them to take you and relying upon them to hold that down for you. So that would actually be my one note with the 8, is I don't think he relaxed enough into that and allowed his partner to control that little variation. That'd be my one note. I love that his partner is now being controlled by his position that he showcased earlier as a soloist. Going down, I love this here, and he grabs, rolls down, then he rolls to allow Thea to shift down. Nice roll. I love the kick around. Then they melt through, framing each other brilliantly. The Valdez over his partner was awesome. So he took one hand, he propped it down, and he kicked over. Sometimes people would call it like a one-handed back walkover, but I've heard it called a Valdez. Tell me if I am correct. I believe that is what it's called, but I love that his partner's position is where it is in order for him to be able to do that and create that kind of visual. And then his partner having this nice airiness that he brings as he goes around. Kicks him down, love it. But notice, still unwavering in his posture. He's not collapsed, or his collapse is still very controlled. And Thea does a really good job of running, prepping. I love this. I love that he is there in the spotlight, and you can see the partners controlling him here in the dark, in the shadows. The light promoting this kind of fear. Like a lot of times he's wanting to shield the light, shield himself from the light, being controlled once again, pulling for it. I love it. But notice that his partner's doing something very simple but effective with the hand, walking around. Love that, the little brrr. I love how he looks and creates this reverb and this vibration of the fingers. And then you see his partner go whoop and sucks the air out of the room. Doom. Love that. Yeah. And then I love the breakout of the lights there. Right, with a nice rondejam, with a little ball change. Scuff behind with the switching of the feet into a handstand. Looking really great unison. They looked in slightly different directions. I thought that was fun. Turning it around, grabbing, he goes doon, doon, doon. He takes a more abstract approach. His partner complements that with his arms, framing it up while Thea is down. Love it. Pulls him up. He still creates this position like what we saw earlier whenever the partner's hands were through this position. That was really nice to see this here. And I love this. Why? He is also taking a little bit of a bird imagery here with some of the bird like figures here, how he's choosing to go with his wings. It just has that kind of imagery. So you let me know if there is some symbolism to a bird in this. I just think it's gorgeous. Gorgeous into a calypso. Love it. Or you can call it a barrel turn. Yeah, but he had one leg straight, one leg bent, so I would call that a calypso in this case. Actually, hold on. No, that was the barrel. That was the barrel jump because of how they prepped it. But they ended up making it look like a calypso, but they were also facing away. And they go up, they hit, and they drop down. So I'm going to say that was a barrel jump. That was fun, though. He goes down. That color grading is so good. I love this. I love this blue. It's so rich. And it just feels, and it takes it to such a different tone so well. Like, lighting matters in a lot of cases to really showcase a story. Choreography justified by itself is wonderful, but having choreography with lighting to complement it with the track, that is just this is a beautiful example of that. It's art. It really is. They properly labeled this. I love that how his partner's kicking and he's moving his hand and to show that there's control being happened. And his partner turns and forces him up. And they come up. It's now doon doon, drop back down. Love that. That was a very Sia moment is what that reminded me of like sometimes when you see Maddie Ziegler do some of Sia's work, she has that kind of doll-like stiff posture. So that was nice to see here with the rolls. They come up. Now he has this very lifeless. And look at his eyes where his face is. That right there really helps carry it. He does have some control, but it's still very lifeless in what he's coming across. Look at this, completely being drug. The commitment to that. His partner doing a great job twinkling it in, just like what we saw earlier, but he's way looser now than what we saw. Now he's here. He has his hands more on the outside, complementing what's happening on the inside, and the silhouette is so nice. Oh my God. It's so beautiful, and I love not really seeing everything. Going into the lift is nice, and then seeing this here. He's still there, and they hold this. And then just appreciating that. Then it folds into this. Guys, this next section right here, so there's, for me, whenever it comes to certain dance visuals in my life that I would love to partake in, either it's direct or me personally be used in, this is one of those things. Like, just having fog and it's just like I'm getting goosebumps for this part specifically. Absolutely love it. It looks like he's falling from the clouds. I think that's kind of the imagery in this. And it is interesting. I love the vulnerability of the fact that he does not have a shirt on for this. Like, look at that. You see it. It's kind of moving through, and all he's doing is lifting up. And I think it's so important that we really don't see the floor that much. We saw it a little bit there, but not really seeing it, and we really just see it encapsulated. And I love the camera turn. You see him pulling and wanting to not be falling. That is awesome. And then from here we go. Notice that the change is more grainy, and then they're turning it back around, and then we go into the light, and that's how we finish. That was a gorgeous finish. It was beautiful. It was so simple, but he allowed the elements around him to really help justify the intention behind the piece. He didn't just do choreography. He was artistically expressing emotion and expressing concepts and expressing angst or just different tears and elements, and he allowed lighting and fog and a partner to be able to help present something so raw and real. And it was so beautiful to watch, and it was different than what I normally react to, and I'm so glad that I was able to look at it, because it is a different vocabulary to describe what's happening here versus if it was street styles with waving or with other elements. But that was art. It was beautiful. I loved this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more 17 content, CA content, K-pop content of the like, I have that all over Patreon as well as YouTube. I always early release on Patreon, so if you're somebody who's impatient like me, Patreon's a really good way to look at that. But my goal is to get everything that is on Patreon out into the world on YouTube, if copyright is nice to me about it. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.